Well, yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Lionel Gilliard. I thank y'all for coming out today. And I want to take this opportunity to speak to all y'all about the issue affecting thousands of students and families and educators across South Carolina. Education policy should be guided by evidence, fairness, and understanding of the student development. However, the state has recently implemented one of the strictest cell phone bans in the country for all kindergarten to 12th grade public schools, regardless of age and grade level. While the goals of improving focus in the classroom is a reasonable one. Today, I am arguing that this policy needs to change, specifically that high school juniors and seniors should be exempted from the statewide cell phone ban. These students are older and more independent and closer to adulthood, and the policy written as written fails to recognize that reality, unfortunately. The intention behind the cell phone ban is understandable. It's to reduce and distraction, improve intention, and support learning at the same time. But good intention alone are not enough. The evidence simply does not support the idea that blanket cell phone bans leads to better academic outcomes. In practice, the policy creates unintended consequences, especially for older students who are preparing for college careers and adulthood responsibilities. Instead of addressing the root cause of the academic challenges, the ban shift focus toward enforcement and punishment, often at the expense of instrumental time equally to the student trust. The state-owned legislation shows how aggressively the policy is being pushed. In a 2024 bill introduced by the South Carolina State General Assembly, lawmakers recall all districts prohibited personally wireless devices you use don't instruct them to talk. However, nowhere in the bill is there clear evidence showing that such bans improve grade test scores or long-term academic success. This policy being enforced statewide without proof that it works. Second, even if the South Carolina State Board of Education has acknowledged the unintended consequences of the ban, according to the report from the South Carolina Daily Gaza, board members themselves warned that the policy could increase suspension, worsen inequality, and place heavy enforcement bodies on teachers. Districts that fail to comply even with losing state funding, this creates pressure to punish students rather than support them learning. Third, the state-owned teacher survey summarized that a 2024 Department of Education memo shows that while teachers report self-obeying distraction, the issue is overwhelmingly concentrated in high school classrooms. For example, 83% of high school teachers report daily distraction from phones, yet the ban applies equally across all grade levels, treating a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old exactly the same. The lack of differentiation ignores the developmental differences and undermines the effectiveness of the policy design. Fourth, the national data shows that the strict cell-phone ban do not correlate better academic performance. According to the 2025 school ranking from the World Population Review states that with the toughest ban do not outperform those with the more flexible approaches. South Carolina itself ranked 43rd place in academic performances, despite enforcement of the strictest restriction in the nation. This strongly says that the academic success depends on the funding, resources, teacher support, and curriculum quality, not the cell phone ban itself. Finally, early research from the other state revealed serious harm, and a 2024 analysis by the Education Week broadly experienced less than 1 percentile improvements in the testing score after implementing a similar ban. Meanwhile, student suspension increased by 12%, disproportionately affecting Black students, when a policy resulted in more disciplinary disciplining then academic progress is not solving the problem, it's creating new ones. For these reasons, I'm urging the South Carolina Board of Education to revise the statewide policy and allow high school juniors and seniors to use their phones reasonably during non-instructional time. These students are on the verge of adulthood. They rely on phones for work, schedule, college application, and transportation coordination, family communication, and emergencies. Rather than a total ban, the school should focus on the responsibility use digital citizenship and the clear boundaries during instrumental time. Teachers teaching students how to manage technology is far more effective than pretending that it doesn't exist. In conclusion, the statewide cell phone ban does not improve academic outcomes. It increase inequality and place unnecessary burdens on teachers and school districts. A one-size-fits-all approach ignores student mandatory and real-world needs. By exempting high school junior senior, the board of education can move toward a more balanced a more balanced, evidence-based policy, one that respects student responsibility while still addressing classroom distraction. Thank you for listening, and I sincerely appreciate your time and consideration today. And I will take as many questions as you need me to take.
Um,
Yeah.
what would you say are the positive outcomes of not having the ban rather than just the negative ones of having it?
Can you repeat that question again?
What would be like the positives of not having it rather than just the negatives of having it? Like, does it increase um partners talk or
Yeah, so I can answer that one. So I feel like some of the positive behind behind this behind like unban not banning for junior seniors is like so something what when it comes to like the district they usually can't give us give them like their own technology so that, but they use like banned certain websites and so that. And some of these websites I know like some of these students need us. Like for example, I know some of they ban some of these college applications. I don't know why they do that, but they do it sometimes. And some of these students need to apply while they're at school and they're not doing that. So I feel like them being able to access their phones and communication can help them with applying for like colleges so that as well like stay in contact with with family just in case like emergencies happen and if they need something they can contact them and there's so many other positive things as well but I think you get the point at this point.
Understood, yeah.
Yes.
So, how do you suggest keeping like juniors and seniors if like they accepted your proposal? So if they're allowed to have their phone, how do you suggest keeping them from using it during like instruction when like the teacher's teaching?
I feel like once you get to junior seniors, when you are junior senior, you really don't have that many tough classes. And I feel like if you instead of focus on banning cell phone, if you try to improve like funding more schools or funding more teachers, so that and get the teacher more excited to want to teach and try to expand the concept, I feel like those can help students to get off the phones instead of like enforcing it because you can see enforcing it does really work so well as just to try to improve other aspects like education, the curriculum, try to make learning more exciting so they don't have to rely on the phone. They could just rely on the teacher, try to teach something new and making the concept more exciting for them to understand, but at the same time have fun with it. You get what I'm saying? Okay then. Yes.
So if this policy is only for seniors and juniors, how would you address like the concerns from lower classmen who find it unfair that it only applies to upperclassmen?
I feel like when it comes to like the lower classes, like I feel like they don't really be. I feel like if you count like kindergarten to like middle school, they really don't have. I don't think you really don't see them on their phones and bringing their phones to school unless their parents want to bring the phone. But most of the time they be with their friends, hanging out with their friends, talk with them, playing games on the computer. So that's it. So I feel like those doesn't really concern like the lower classes, but if it did concern like the lower classes, some of that, I feel like I said, if you try to instead of try to enforce the ban on force the ban on junior seniors, you should try to fund more. fund more teachers and curriculum and try to improve on the learning experience so they don't so all these students don't really have to rely on their phone. I feel like that's the main purpose of my discussion. Try instead of a cell phone ban on instead of cell phone bans in the public schools, I feel like they should be focused on trying to improve on the curriculum, try to make it more exciting for students, and try to figure out how we can how we can help these students not be on their phone less and less. And okay. Any other questions? No? Okay then. I'm going to stop the recording now.